6.5 acres on Lake Osakis in Minnesota. My name's Miles McLaughlin here at Wilco Land, rolling out a new property with you today. This is a really unique lakefront piece of real estate just outside of Alexandria, Minnesota in Douglas County. I'll pull it up on a map to give you a quick bird's eye view. It's this cool 6.5 acres out here on this point. We're really targeting this property as a great spot to start using tomorrow with a camper or an RV. Lake Osakis, if you're unfamiliar with the area, we know Minnesota is known for all of its lakes. You know, Lake Osakis is a trophy lake in the state, right? It's a land of 10,000 lakes, but this truly is one of the trophy lakes in the state. World-class fishing, both summer and winter out here. You get small town vibes in Osakis. Just really a quality land investment here. We like this property a lot, so I'm excited to roll it out. In this video, I'm going to cover FAQs. I'm going to talk about the property. I'm going to talk about some wetlands reports that we've had done. I'm going to go into a high-level conversation about what are some potential uses for the property and things like that. So stay tuned. The first thing I'm going to talk about is access here. Here's an aerial image of the property. Here's going to be your access road right here. Okay, so that's pretty clearly defined. You shouldn't miss it. If you're going to view the property, that's your access road. I am going to list this with a realtor. We are going to get more photos. This is an old photo I took off the internet from some nearby listing. They had a drone out there in the past. And, so this actually does a really good job for the purpose of this video to show you this property. But this is an old photo, so it doesn't really capture what the property is like today. But the property, this has been mowed. So what I was getting to is this has been like mowed and cleared down. Like I said, I'm working with a real estate agent. We're going to get this live in the MLS here in the next week or so. We will have new photos and all that stuff as well. But I wanted to get a video and just kind of talk high level about this property because we are getting a lot of interest in it. And I'm not sure how long it's going to be on the market. So talking about access, here's your access road. You can see all the high ground in the property over here. And you can see some good area for a dock out here would be right where that is. So I want to pull up the property on satellite imagery. Again, talking about aerial imagery, I'm going to talk about viewings here using the GPS coordinates in a second. But just giving you a look, here's your access road again coming in. Here's the property outlined here on the point. And you can see all these people have put docks in to the north of you. So that's going to be like the same type of topography and terrain as that's going to be here. So this is going to be your ideal kind of lookout point, ideal spot for a dock and all that good stuff, right? So, so dropping back into the listing, and real quick before we do that, I do want to just show you what the access point looks like from street views, just so if anybody wants to go view the property, you know what you're looking for, right? You've got, again, pretty clearly defined, your access road into the properties right there. So that should be easy to find. Okay, so now that we're done looking at the property from a bird's eye view there, I want to get back into talking about viewing. So if you are interested in going to take a look at the property, simply use the GPS coordinates. I use Onyx Maps as my favorite app, and you can see the properties outlined here. But like I said, you've got the access road, get back to the property clear as day. If you have the elite version, you can actually see these property boundaries. If you don't, you're looking for natural features in the landscape. So you've got this this belt of trees right here. That's when you hit the start of the property. Then obviously the shoreline is gonna line it all up there. And then you've maybe got this patch of trees right here. And if you're viewing the property, just know the property line is pretty close to that patch of trees right there. So so that's enough on viewings. Kind of talking about the property in general. Like I said, Osakis is a great area for fishing. When I think about this property and I think about who the target audience is, I'm thinking it's this guy right here. It's somebody who wants to put a camper on the property, who wants to start using it tomorrow. Maybe it's a campsite, it's an RV site. Maybe you're putting some sort of off-grid, tiny home out there, some sort of wood-burning stove in like an off-grid cabin. And maybe you're putting like a shed up there or a pole barn, and you're storing your boat, your snowmobile, your ATV, your ice fishing gear. So there's your ice fishing shack, whatever it is, right? You've got a lot of options with this property. It's 6.5 acres. The reason I say that's our target audience instead of somebody looking to build a traditional home is that a septic system is going to be challenging for this property. A lot of this property, it presents challenges because of the soil and the wetlands. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit. And so we know that there's a site layout here. I had somebody go out to the property. This was a wetland specialist. So the area outlined is high ground, approximately 1 to 2 feet higher than the wetland area. So you can see all that. I measured this out. It's about 2.25, 2.5 acres of high ground here. The rest of this property is low wetlands. So, right, you get into soil types in these type of areas that could present challenges for your traditional septic systems. And I've dealt with this all over the country, and we have to look at these properties from a different perspective, right? I haven't explored, what kind of septic systems, are there alternative septic systems? Is there new technology out here that this soil would support, a septic system that would work with these type of soil borings and soil reports? I don't know those answers, right? I haven't worked with the state to figure out how to develop on this property. I haven't looked into what the steps would be to put fill on the property. Those are things I haven't done. My due diligence has been pretty surface level, and I'm going to, push the property at this really low price as a recreational land investment. And if you are the person that knows how to put fill on a property, that feels like they have a good pathway for an alternative septic system, maybe it's an above ground septic system, or like I said, maybe you just want to use the property for recreation, for weekends during the summer with your friends and family, with you guys' campers, for weekends during the winter out there ice fishing. Maybe you want to put like I said, a pole barn on the property, throw some gravel down for an RV pad. Maybe you put a couple sheds on the property that store, like I said, your snowmobiles, your ice fishing gear, your summer stuff. Maybe you keep your boat on the property. So, and you have a dock on the property. So, right. So there's a lot of different type of uses. Just at the price point itself, it's a great recreational deal. This is a great property on the market. It's a unique land investment. There's not many properties like this become available on Lake Osakis. Let me know. Call me the next time there's 7 acres of lakefront property on a point on Lake Osakis available, whether it's wetlands or not. Give me a call, right? Because they don't come up. And so we know that as it stands today, in a worst case scenario, you have a great property for duck hunting, for fishing, for recreation, for the campers, for camping, all that fun stuff, right? Like I said, for storage. And what a lot of people do is they'll work with the county and say, well, anything over 1,000 square feet, for example, requires a septic system. Okay, well, I'm going to build an off-grid tiny home or an off-grid little log cabin with a wood-burning stove, just a couple bunk beds in there for me and my family to sleep in, and go ice fishing during the summer and camp and have fires. Or ice fishing during the winter, I should say, and camp and have fires. And so there's going to be other ways to use a property that isn't, your traditional method of building. And who's to say in 10, 20, 30 years that the technology is not available to build, or that this area dries up, or that there's infrastructure and there's a sewage line or a water line near it close enough where it makes sense to trench it to your property. And then you can build your cabin, your lakefront cabin. We don't know what it looks like in 10, 20, 30 years. So not only do you have a long-term land investment on Lake Osakis, but you have a tangible property you can start using tomorrow for recreation. You can put docks in, you can make cool camping areas. You can bring your camper back there. You can put storage sheds in the property. You can store your toys out there. So there's a lot of tangible use today for the property. And then there's a lot of potential, opportunity to develop down the road, whether it's technology presenting itself in the future, infrastructure coming available in the future, or maybe there is a pathway to put fill in on the property. Maybe there is a pathway to get some sort of septic system approved on the property in the near future. I haven't gone that route, and I'm not going to take the time to do it. What I'm listing here is the property as is, with all things in mind at that price point. And I think it's a smoking deal just based on the research I've done, and just knowing that, like I said, this is one of the better lakes in the state of Minnesota. This is really a nice lake outside of a nice rural town in Minnesota, in Osakis, Minnesota. So that would be my pitch on the property, and that's just laying all of our cards on the table. I do have a soil borings report somebody put together. Just let me know if you'd like to see it. I summed it up basically in the listing here. It's a septic engineer who did that. He's the one who provided this map as well. This is where the 2 soil borings were taken, 1 and 2. And you can see that corresponds with soil boring 1 and soil boring 2. So like I said, this is really all there is to read on it. And these are the photos that the septic designer sent in. So if you need this, just let me know. But that's what we're looking at. I see property like this all the time. I've been doing this about a decade. We sell a lot of land investments like this. They're really, really world-class land investments, but they come with some challenges. And for the right price, there's a lot of people willing to take these on. The alternative is buying a quarter acre for 100. And I mean, what are your alternatives on Lake Osakis? It's buying this little third of an acre that, I don't even know. I mean, the representation is, I can't really get a feel for what this is. I don't even know if it's buildable. It's kind of hard to really visualize what the heck that thing is. So, you don't get a lot of opportunities to buy acreage. This is not lakefront. It's 3 acres. It's not lakefront, so it's off the lake. But like I said, this will probably be one of the last opportunities to own 7 acres on this lake at less than $100,000. I mean, when you look at the price point and all that stuff, I mean, it's a good land investment. It really is. And so you can see, this is not lakefront, and they're asking $115 for, this old camper on a property, right? So, like I said, we are priced competitively. We price things to sell fast. I do want to end the video just showing you guys, I pulled up this Facebook video. This is some good drone imagery from Lake Osakis here. And you can see somebody driving out there ice fishing during the winter. So I just wanted to show you, this is a really popular area in the summer and the winter. Yet it still has small rural Minnesota vibes. And again, just kind of ending the video, what we do here at Wilco Land, like I said, we buy and sell raw vacant land, focusing on these unique and epic properties. I do want to say, this is a disclaimer that this isn't legal advice. This isn't real estate advice in my video. I'm simply sharing what I know about the property through my due diligence and through my experience in the industry. So nothing's going to replace your own due diligence, asking your own questions. Give me a call if you have those type of questions. I'm happy to walk you through my thought process, maybe who to contact at the county. Like I said, I will have it listed with a real estate agent. I can get you in touch with an agent to help with the property as well. So again, you as a buyer are responsible to conduct your own due diligence. We sell all of our property here as is at Wilco Land. If you need any of the reports that we've done on the property, if you need additional information, if you just want to have a conversation with me, give me a call or send me a text here at 605-250-1256. And feel free to browse the website for some more land investments. Thanks for tuning in.